Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. The issue of affordable housing units being built by Kenya Kwanza government seems to be turning out into a land grabbing scam. I want us to listen to Gadoni wa Muchomba, for our sentiments are going to inform the basis of our analysis right now.
Because I still don't understand how you come to Kiambu County. My land is worth 300 million. You want me to hand you over this land without any form of agreement between you, the off-taker, and the owner. And you bring in a foreigner, and you want maybe that foreigner to be the contractor and the person to sell off these houses and take over the management of these houses in posterity. What is my role as the owner of that land? Remember, this land is valuable. So that is a very contentious issue. And the legal framework that has been managing the issue of housing to me is still not very clear. And I think when I said this is scandalous, I meant that there is some schemes of taking over prime land and handing that land to other players, unconstitutionally and procedurally, irregularly, and some of us, we will pay for what we are doing today in future. What will the governor of Kiambu tell the people of Kiambu? How did he hand over land to that contractor? And what is the role of county government of Kiambu in the management of those houses? What is the role of the county? Who supplies what? I want to ask you, I want to bring in a very serious issue. Let's go to Thika. We had houses that were done by the old Kiambu municipality. Those houses are occupied by county workers who pay very little rent to the county because they are county workers. You come in and tell them, move out of these houses, we demolish these houses, and we come up with fresh blocks.
Okay.
How do you tell this worker to move out? What assurance do you give him or her that when he moves out, you come up with new blocks, you are going to give him the first priority to own the house? What affordability platform do you provide for him or her? Do you provide him mortgage? Is the county government of Kiambu going to provide mortgage for those workers who are being evicted so that these houses can be built afresh? And can they afford the houses? Because remember, these are people who pay 2,000 for those houses per month.
Yeah.
So if you come up with a house worth 5 million, for example, and this guy is 55 years old, amebakisha 5 years aritire, umemfukuza na familia, how do you then make him afford this house for the remaining 5 years? Those are the issues that we have. And those are the issues that make some of us stand very firm and say no. Until we are clear. Nobody would fight city owning a house. I wouldn't fight my brother who is a driver or my cousin who is a nurse owning a house. I wouldn't fight that. But remember, I have a future in politics in this country. I don't want to ever be asked questions that I cannot answer. So I would rather stand for what I know and what I believe in. So for Governor Wamatangi to say, no, I'm not handing over this piece of land until I get it clear, and until I go to the County Assembly of Kiambu and get clearance, for me, I think he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But unfortunately, this is Kenya. You say no to such a request,
Kichapo.
You suffer the consequences.
What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? Let me start by saying this. From where I sit, I'm fully convinced, beyond any reasonable doubt, that the affordable housing units will eventually end up as ghost projects. it will fail badly. And I won't be wrong to say that these housing units are a perfect avenue for some rogue elements in this government to grab land from the public land and even private land. That's the whole concept of these housing units, these affordable housing units being built by William Ruto. That's what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm saying that because everything this government has tried doing, or any project this government has initiated in the past 1 year, ends up failing very, very badly. As I talk, there is this ongoing story, a story that is still developing, that the edible oil that was imported into the country, tax-free, is not fit for human consumption. And for those who may not know, upon William Ruto coming to power, there was a cabinet meeting at State House, Nairobi, where it was agreed that tons of edible oil was to be imported into the country tax-free. And from the news we are gathering, very close individuals to William Ruto were given the express authority to import that edible oil tax-free into the country. That oil is now being found unfit for human consumption. Already, Kenyan government lost about 10 billion it could have gotten in form of taxes on that oil importation. 10 billion disappeared. The oil is unfit for human consumption. There are several initiatives that this government has started that have all backfired. G2G failed miserably. Nothing seems to be working, and that's why you don't need any magic to know that even these affordable housing units will just end up backfiring. And it might be a scheme to grab public land and even private properties. In Kisii, for example, already parcels of land that had been earmarked for the housing units have already been grabbed. Listen to this before we continue.
Na mtazamaji, nayo tume ya maadili na kupambana na ufisadi EACC inachunguza sakata unyakuzi wa ardhi iliyokuwa imetengewa mradi wa nyumba nafuu za serikali katika kaunti ya Kisii.
Na kulingana na stakabadhi za tume ya EACC, ardhi hiyo imegawanywa kwa vipande 81 na kumilikiwa na watu binafsi kama Chemutai Goin anavyoarifu.
Huku serikali ikipania kujenga takriban nyumba 200,000 za nafuu ili wale wanaoishi maeneo duni wapate makao bora, mradi mmoja ulionuiwa kuanzishwa na rais katika kaunti ya Kisii umekumbwa na changamoto, kwani kipande cha ardhi kilichotengwa kwa mradi huo kinakisiwa kunyakuliwa. Ardhi hiyo iliyo eneo la Nyanchwa, kulingana na EACC, imetwaliwa na watu binafsi pamoja na kampuni kadhaa. Barua kutoka msajili wa ardhi kaunti ya Kisii kwa Wizara ya Ardhi na Nyumba ikitaka usaidizi kutoa ardhi hiyo ili rais aanzishe mradi huo. Kesi hiyo ambayo inachunguzwa na tume ya maadili na kupambana na ufisadi EACC inaonyesha kuwa kipande hicho cha ardhi kimegawanywa kwa vipande 81 na watu kadhaa kuvimiliki. Vipande vingine kulingana na stakabadhi za uchunguzi zikionyesha kuwa benki kadhaa pia zimegharamia vipande hivyo kwa kima cha shilingi milioni 11.4 na kuna mengine ambayo hayana stakabadhi za kuonyesha umiliki. EACC inanuia kuhakikisha wale walioshinikiza kuuzwa au kuporwa kwa ardhi hiyo wanachukuliwa hatua mwafaka, huku duru zikiarifu kuwa kuna watu mashuhuri ambao wanakisiwa kuhusika. Na huku uchunguzi ukiendeshwa, haijabainika kikamilifu hatma ya walionunua vipande hivyo vya ardhi na endapo majumba yaliyopo eneo hilo kwa sasa yatabomolewa na ikiwa serikali itatafuta ardhi mbadala kuendesha mradi wa nyumba za nafuu. Chemutai, runinga ya Citizen.
That's in Kisii. In fact, Citizen is not reporting it very well. Citizen is trying to beat about the bush. Listening to that story, it's highly possible that the parcels of land that were earmarked for the housing units in Kisii, those lands had already been allocated to some preferred individuals. Those are the individuals whom the government was to tell us were investors to build those houses. I think that's the truth. Individuals were already allocated those parcels of land to construct those houses. So even before the housing units, or even before that project is launched, individuals already have been allocated land. This is corruption, land grabbing, ladies and gentlemen. And I strongly believe that as a nation, we don't have a government here. We just have cartels who are very greedy and they don't care. They are eating to a point even the owner is seeing they are eating. As Chinua Achebe puts it in his book, A Man of the People, these people are eating too much for the owner to see. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.